There's no better place in the world to play a college basketball game. The fact that the Big East tournament is just a couple of days away, it just brings joy to my soul every time we can come to New York with our supporters, our alum, the energy that's always here. You know, I miss going up the elevator today. We had to go up the ramp, so my fat ass lost a couple of pounds today. It's just energy, and you got to give St. John's a lot of credit. They made a lot of timely baskets. Playing a league like this here, you know, you can't afford the level of mistakes that we made. We made a lot of mistakes coming down the stretch. But again, the way they've been playing, I think this is their 5th win in a row, if I'm not mistaken. They're playing their best basketball coming down the stretch. I think Coach Fatino's done a great job rallying his guys. And clearly, you know, having gone through the league, we have several tournament teams in the Big East. And clearly, they are definitely one of them. I don't know if there's a league in the country, top to bottom, as competitive as this league has been. So, you know, when you look at that, you look at a team that has had the rough year that we've had, right? Rough year that we had. I'm pretty sure many of the people that came here thought this was going to be a cakewalk. Well, here comes Georgetown, looking at our record, but not our fight, not our toughness, not our togetherness. It's been a tough year. But you know what? That's what we signed up for in the Big East, and you know, I'm happy for the league. Very sad for my team. But again, I thought you saw a worthy, disciplined team out there today in St. John's, and it's going to be fun watching them as we get into this next week of the Big East tournament.
Questions?
Ed, throughout this season, Rick Pitino has said that he wants to have a 100th birthday celebration for Luke Carnesecca at Carnesecca Arena next year, and mentioned Georgetown being one of the opponents that he would like to see in that game. What are your thoughts on that, and perhaps playing St. John's next year at Carnesecca instead of Madison Square Garden? I'm
going to do what the schedule tells me to play. I've been born and raised on the Big East. It's something I love. It's something I adore. If that's where we got to play the game, we got to play the game. I mean, I'll always respect Coach Carnesecca, whether it's we're playing here, whether we're playing at Carnesecca, we're playing on the Moon, or we're playing on Broadway in 10th. Got to play the game somewhere, but it'll be an honor to play in that game if we're fortunate to do it.
Ed, they put Luis on Jaden late in the game. How much did that change things? I think he only scored 2 points over the last 7 minutes with Luis on.
Yeah, you know, he's a long athlete. He's long, athletic. He's very tough. Come sit here with me. I got you. You know, was it a game changer? I don't know. I thought we had great ball movement. We scored. How many points we scored today? 70. You score 78 points, make 12 threes. You're supposed to win the game. Bottom line, it wasn't our offense. Clearly, it wasn't our offense. Our Achilles heel all year has been on 2-point field goal defense. You know, and that's, you know, discipline, wherewithal, toughness, physicality, and for whatever reason. Now, I know the reason. We just got to continue to get better, continue to coach, and continue to show the mistakes that we've made defensively. But I mean, we're scoring enough points. You know, what were we 12 for 24 from 3? I can't tell you the last time, you know, we get these double-digit 3-pointers and lose games. We've had 6 of them this year where we're double-digit threes and haven't been fortunate to win. So it's not our offense. It had nothing to do. Good player, great athlete, but I don't think it disrupted. I mean, they gave up 78 points on the road. You're supposed to win this game with respect to if a normal game plays out, we had a better defensive effort.
We'll take questions for Jaden too if you have them. Okay, next.
Ed, of course, you know, what is it like after this first year of coaching in this Georgetown-St. John's rivalry?
Again, every game to me is a rivalry in the Big East, right? I mean, it's because it's Georgetown versus St. John's. It's Big East opponent versus Big East opponent. Obviously, the tradition, the overall glamour of the game, this has incredible history to it. We have to continue to improve our organization today. Respect the past, respect the legacy of the game, but it's just a different time in college sport. I'll always appreciate this game. But to me, it's another game against a quality Big East opponent.
Hey, big guy. The portal opens the day after Selection Sunday. How will you go about kind of attacking that and maybe trying to rebuild your roster? And for teams that are playing in the NCAA tournament, how do they balance both of preparing for the tournament and dealing with the portal? Do they have a certain coach handle that? Or?
we are in uncharted waters what we're about to get into in intercollegiate basketball and sport. We will build our roster with what we need. Well, again, it's free agency. We can have players that come in, may want a different opportunity. We'll look at different opportunities. I want someone who fits our philosophy. I want someone who fits our mission. I want a player who understands how hard it is to play in this league and the toughness it takes. College basketball and college football, and we are in a very, very tough spot as a university, as a conference. I don't have the right answer for you. All I know is we play next Wednesday at 6:30, and then we'll reconvene and see what we got to do to continue to build our program. This has been a very, I've learned a lot this year. I've learned a lot. And I think because of the adversity, we as a staff and we as a program have really grown. We've grown a lot through adversity. And there's nothing greater than going through it and coming out, right? When you're in hell, keep going. Because eventually, when it storms, the rain will stop.
Right here, and then over here.
And you guys played St. John's at the beginning of this 5-game winning streak for them, and now at the end of it, have you noticed any difference in the way they played from when you played them three weeks ago until?
They're incredibly confident. They're very, very confident. I think they have a game changer in Jenkins, right? They have some length. They have some length and athleticism. But you just when you win, you just get confident, right? And you're on a 3-4 game winning streak in this league. It just continues to grow. So you give them a lot of credit for how Rick has rallied them.
What do you want to see from the team and yourself heading into the Big East tournament, and what kind of leadership is necessary for that to happen?
Appreciate your question. I want our leadership to continue to grow. I want us to make sure we stay, when you have the year like we're having, in our league we're 2-18, right? Our men have been competitive. We have fought right to the very end. Like next week or whenever this game starts, everybody has the same record. But I give our men a lot of credit, the way we have fought, the way we have battled, we've dealt with adversity, we've dealt with all the negative comments. And I got to give our men a lot of credit for how hard we battle and how hard we fight. I want us to continue to do that, and hopefully we can clean up our mistakes late in games, because that's really costing us. That's what I expect.
Question for Jaden. You were matched up with a bunch of different defenders, and you had a good offensive game. Is there a way in which, like, when they put a longer guy like Lewis on you, that it gets a little bit harder?
I wouldn't say it gets harder. It's just a lot of different ways that we try to attack different defenders. And like maybe somebody gets on me who I have quicker foot speed than, so I try to drive and I try to make a shot for my teammates. Maybe somebody's on me that's smaller. So we just try to look at the matchups and see what we got and see how we can get the best shot we can.
What about going against him?
Going against
Lewis.
Lewis, I would say he's a pretty good defender. He's long, he's athletic. Yeah, like I said, he's a pretty good defender, pretty good player. And he just can do a lot. He can do a lot on defense, man.
Right there, and then we'll finish here.
Coach, you said you've learned a lot this year. Could you expound on that, because you've been through rebuilds before?
Yes. What have we learned? Being more patient when you're grinding. Instilling a different level of confidence when players are struggling. Learning a new environment, learning a new way of living. It's not New England. It's learning the streets, learning the traffic, learning how to engage in a community that I'm not familiar with, not just as an individual, but as a team. Meeting different people, strategically doing things where we don't have the normal physicality and discipline of teams that I've been fortunate to coach in the past. Learning how to deal with losing a little bit, not accepting it, but understanding that is what it is. And then most importantly, the biggest thing I've learned is just because we lost today does not mean there's an opportunity tomorrow. There's not an opportunity to continue to build our program. And you may look at our record and it is what it is, but behind that curtain, I would give our organization A+ based on infrastructure and building an incredible program that will sustain the winning once it happens.
Last question.
Coach, you won the Big East tournament about a decade ago, and you would obviously need to lead this team to victory to get into the tournament. Can you reflect?
You don't think we're on the bubble?
Maybe.
I think we're on a bubble, man. I really do. We're bubbling all right.
Can you reflect on what it's like leading a team to victory in the Big East tournament?
I'm going to take you back to 2001 when I worked for one of the greatest mentors in basketball. His name's Al Skinner. I remember being here. My daughter is probably 5 or 6 months old, Josephine in the back. I remember my daughter, who's now a Georgetown graduate, and I remember sitting on that floor as an assistant coach when we won a Big East championship. And that gave me more joy, more energy, more vision to say one day as a head coach I want to do that. I was fortunate to do it in the reorganization of the Big East in 2014. We got to the ultimate game again, and it was a really, really tough game against Villanova when they won a national championship. We lost in overtime. Anytime you can play on Broadway on Friday night and Saturday night for champions in this building, there's no greater feeling in the world. No greater feeling in the world as a player, as an AD, as a coach, as a parent, as a partner. That's what we play for. And next week, this will be the most electric building, not in the country, in the world, when you have all these Big East teams coming here. The fact that it's here, we want to keep that partnership for as long as our league stays together. There's nothing greater. Big East basketball is amazing, and the young men and women that play in this league, they're very, very fortunate, and don't take it for granted. That was in 2001, some 23 years ago, and I still have that vivid memory and having that big dream saying one day I want to be a head coach to do it. Now we have it here at Georgetown. That day will come once again when we cut those nets down in a proud moment. It's just not today. We'll live on a bubble for a little longer, but that dream is alive for us to build this thing to be a national monster.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.